I wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit tonight because we've just started 2025, and I'm pretty sure you have some things going on in 2025, including one very special thing, which we'll get to a little bit later. But tell me a little bit about, give me just a few things that you're planning for 2025.
All right. I'll go with three things, and I'll start with the one that'll bring me the least joy, but joy, and then move my way to the one that'll bring me the most joy.
Okay.
So I have been enjoying riding BDR sections, but I rarely have the time to run an entire BDR because I just can't take a week to 10 days off.
Now, the one that you're talking about trying to do in 2025 is a little further south.
It is. It's the Chattahoochee, which is not that far from our place in Tennessee. So while I'm down in Tennessee, I'll be able to take probably a weekend and run the whole thing. And I want to run that because it does go into, it starts on the Smoky Mountain 500. So I'll jump on it in Tennessee, right where I would the Smoky Mountain 500, which I've done twice. But then it veers off, and I'll get to ride on gravel and dirt roads I've never been on before. Not to mention, I think it takes me into Georgia, and I've never ridden in Georgia at all. I'd certainly like to try that. So that's going to be the easiest thing to do. It'll be the closest to where I have a motorcycle. It'll take the shortest amount of time to do. So it's a great first goal. Go down in the spring, ride it. Provided it hasn't rained, it'll probably be a wonderful weekend of.
What would be something else? Another thing you're going to do in 2025 that you're excited about?
Well, I had this goal last year, and I simply couldn't get away from work to do it. Now, I've ridden pretty far into Canada. I've ridden all the way to the Florida Keys. I've done a lot of riding on the East Coast. And I've now gone to the Pacific Northwest once. I've gone out west 4 times. But that leaves a huge chunk of beautiful United States that I've never had the opportunity to ride in, and that's the Southwest. I've been invited to New Mexico to ride with friends. I've been invited to Santa Ana, California to ride with friends, and I just haven't managed to get the time. But this year, knock on wood substitute, I will finally get to finish that last quadrant of the United States and ride the Southwest with any luck in, I think, May 6th. On May 6th, I'm hoping to fly to the Southwest, borrow a bike from a very nice fellow who hasn't announced it yet, so I'm not going to say his name. But this very nice fellow has offered to take me onto the Utah BDR, ride some Arizona on his motorcycle. He literally said, all I have to do is show up with a sleeping bag, and I believe a sleeping pad. He's got camping gear for me. He even offered me a helmet, but of course I have to bring mine for the damn camera. But
right. Oh yeah.
I should finally, after this is at least the 3rd year where I've been like, I really should go. I really should finish the Southwest, get there. I have never been there other than in a car or flying. So I'm very much looking forward to finally riding in the Southwest.
Tim from Timfest is in the chat. So I want to know how you and Tim and all of this Timfest stuff started.
I really don't know if you can say without being mean. No, it's not like that. So Tim and I followed a YouTuber at the same time, and that YouTuber had a Discord. So I went in there, and that's where I met Javi and Andrew and Tim and tons of other guys. And at one point, because Tim is grumpy, he decided he would start his own Discord. So I ended up in Tim's Discord. And Tim is living the life we all want to. He's retired, he owns 2 motorcycles, and he makes the time to go on trips and have a good time. And fortunately,
I like Tim.
Yeah. Unlike Patrick, who doesn't like to ride with other people, Tim actually wants to ride with other people. If you go to VTrack 1963, you'll see endless pictures on Instagram of Tim riding with other people. It might make you uncomfortable, Patrick. You may not want to look at it. But Tim and I were talking one night, and he asked if I wanted to go to South Dakota. And I just thought he was going to, ride to South Dakota, ride around a little bit and go back. And he explained a little bit about the area because he'd been there with his kids when he was younger. And he's like, yeah, David lives the best life because David owns a Goldwing and a V-Strom. His bikes are nicer than Tim's bikes.
Wait a minute. I own a Goldwing and a V-Strom.
Yeah, but your Goldwing's not like David's. Oh, David's Goldwing is beautiful.
It's slightly older.
Your Goldwing is a 7 and his is an 11. Oh, Black Hills was picked because it was midway between Tennessee and Washington. That would be Glenn in Tennessee and Tim in Washington. Even though Tim is a nice New York born and raised gentleman, he's somehow in liberal Washington.
Okay. So you guys all got together and decided, hey, let's just go meet in the Black Hills?
Tim decided, hey, do you want to meet me in the Black Hills? And I went out to meet Tim a day before everyone else was getting there. And Tim introduced me to Needles Highway and several other places. And I was like, wow, this place is beautiful. I just love it here. And so the next year, Tim was like, let's go back to the Black Hills. And so I'm like, all right, sounds like a rally now. It's going to be Timfest. And now we have Timfest. Different guys go, guys come back, but it's always such a great place to go. I'm extremely grateful that Tim invited me. I'm extremely grateful that Tim always finds great people and Swabby to go.
What's the thing you're looking forward to the most for 2025?
I'm going to have the opportunity to ride with my daughter Hollis to Timfest. And that is exciting beyond words because she enjoys this hobby. I enjoy this hobby. And she's never ridden, she tells me, more than 250 miles. So for me, someone who rides, I'll get on the bike and ride 800 miles, and that's fine. That's, fun. Yay. Enjoy.
Yep.
To see her try something new, to see her go from riding around her area to I'm going to go across the country. That's wow. I want to be there to see that. Yep. And she lives in Virginia, which is a beautiful, beautiful state. But oh my God, it is not the Black Hills. There is nothing like riding the Black Hills. She has a Harley Davidson Softail, and when she gets out there on that bike, there's no way she is not going to love it. And I want to take her someplace I love going. I want to perhaps introduce her to a few of the people I know. And I want to see her ride Tim's routes and just ride your motorcycle in the most beautiful, perfect place to ride a street motorcycle I've ever been.